Bonsoir, bonsoir, bonsoir. Et donc, bienvenue, welcome to this YouTube live. I think we're going to use more the sound because I have some camera problems. And generally, my dear friends, I'm in deep shit. And it hasn't started yesterday. It hasn't started 3 years ago when I came back to France. It started about 13 years ago when I was trying to direct, act as a main actor, and also produce my first film, A Sailor in Love, in Polish, Marynarz w Łodzi. The story of a man who has to fight with the stories he invented and has to make them true. And now I'm finishing this film. We're going to finish it with artificial intelligence. And I hope you can help me and also support my work. And this is what this message is about. I was in a very difficult situation with this film because of very complicated, it's actually a very simple story, but I will tell you about it in another episode. And now I'm in Paris. This is the production office of Agathe Film, where my first professional film, Arte, was produced. It's called Our Street. I'm sorry, my second professional film. My first professional film, A Trace, about my father, Stanisław Latało, which is the first masterclass, which I invited you to in December. And now we're preparing the second masterclass dedicated to the Lodz Film School and to the actors, especially to one actor, my friend Zygmunt Malanowicz, who played the main part. He became mostly famous because he played the main part in the film Knife in the Water by Roman Polański, where Polański put his own voice over Malanowicz's. Polański wanted to play the main part, but the producers, the state-owned company that was producing this film, didn't give him the authorization, so he hired Malanowicz, and then he dubbed his own voice over Malanowicz's voice. So that was also very interesting, a very interesting masterclass in acting. And of course, we will also talk about other actors who were in this film and other actors, great Polish actors. It will be the beginning of the second part of the masterclasses, one dedicated to directors, which has begun with my father, who wanted to be a director but died in the Himalayas. And now is the second part dedicated to actors with Zygmunt, but also other actors that I worked with from the films of Krzysztof Kieślowski, like Jean-Louis Trintignant, Ladies First, Juliette Binoche, Julie Delpy, Irène Jacob, who was in Double Life of Véronique, and many other actors and actresses that I had the chance of meeting during my filmmaking career, which started on my father's diploma, which he never finished, called The Holy Family. So I started my career when I was 2 years old. Now I'm 58, and I came back to Paris 3 years ago after the death of my mother in 2018. My mother, Maria Stauber, who will also be the subject of a short film about love, which are part of the masterclasses is directing, making different films, short films, longer films, about a series of short films, which put together a long film, which is a very good example of that is Jerzy Skolimowski, who studied in the Lodz Film School and then made a big international career. And his diploma film, Rysopis, was constructed exactly in the same. All his studies, because films were short, tape was expensive, film tape was expensive, so he constructed his diploma, his entire study, as one film. So every year he would make one fragment of the film, and in the end, it gave a feature film, his first feature film, which is a very clever strategy. And so there's another masterclass which will be dedicated to Jerzy Skolimowski and his films, and also to the wonderful actors that he worked with. Among others, I'm thinking about Jean-Pierre Léaud, who was in this film Le Départ, and many other actors, wonderful actors that Jerzy Skolimowski worked with. Krzysztof Kieślowski, which I mentioned before, Krzysztof Zanussi, who was the director of Illumination, the film which made my father famous, and which also brought him to the Himalayas, which also met on the set. He was playing this physicist, and he was in his spare. The character Franciszek Redman was climbing in the mountains, and that's during the directing of these sequences. He in the mountains he met a man, Andrzej Zawada, who was the leader of the Polish Himalaya expedition in 1974. And he asked different film directors, among them film operators, camera operators, Jacek Petrycki, who was also very good. They had some personal reasons, health reasons. And my father, who had separated, my mother and him were separated at the time. We had emigrated to Germany. I was 7 years old. And my father accepted. And so the last time I saw my father was in Offenbach am Main, where my grandparents, Polish Jews, there will be a chapter about them also in a masterclass, had emigrated to the city of Offenbach am Main. And my father came to visit us just before leaving for the Himalayas. And we had forgotten the keys of the apartment. And so I don't remember exactly what happened, but we were living on the 13th floor, and we went to the 14th floor. And my father climbed out the window, and I remember him hanging outside of the window by his fingers and entering the apartment one floor below. So he was like 14 floors above the ground. And and so this is the last time I saw him. And then he went to the Himalayas and died there. So this is my story. This is one of the many stories that I can tell you on my webpage, latalo.com, www.latalo.com. And you can find these different stories, different masterclasses, different ideas for films, different films I made before, like the film I realized in this production company, Notre Rue. So my first professional film was made by Guy Seligman, by his company, as a co-production between Polish and French Canal+. And then I made this film as a co-production with Arte and the Polish Film Institute, A Street, which you can also watch on my Vimeo, which is the story of a working class family in the city of Łódź, Lodz, where the film school is, where I also studied, where my father studied, where Kieślowski studied, Zanussi studied, Wajda. Mustn't forget about Andrzej Wajda, great film director, who was also a great theater director. And he died 10 years ago. So it's his anniversary of death. And his wife, Krystyna Wajda, is also a very important story of love, short story of love that I would like to tell you. But, because there's always a but, I have big problems here in France since I came back. It's a situation out of Kafka. I inherited a house and 4 apartments from my mother, inheritances together with my half-brother, Benjamin Vermeil, and 1 apartment of my own in the 14th arrondissement. And I don't have a penny. I can't find a job. Everywhere I go, I try to propose my ideas, but somehow it doesn't work out. My brother is at war with me. I don't get un centime. I don't get a penny from the apartments, from the 4 apartments that we are supposed to co-own together. I don't have money, of course, to hire a lawyer, and I can't get free lawyers in France because I have inherited this house, which also means I can't get minimum wages, RSA it's called in France, which is minimum support. So I don't have this. I can't rent Airbnb because my apartment in the 14th is squatted by people who used Airbnb to enter the apartment, and then Airbnb banned me from the platform, and I can't find somebody trustworthy who can make this Airbnb for me in my house. We have several rooms that I can rent. If you want to help me with that, you can help me with that. You can also support my work on my webpage, latalo.com. You can buy the masterclass, it's €10, or you can support me with any amount. There's a small button, a Revolut button at the bottom of every page, where you can just input any amount you want. But of course, mostly I'm looking for a producer. So this is why I came here to Agat Film. Unfortunately, everybody's gone. I was left here alone. They trust me, so that's very nice of them. I'm very touched and pleased by this because I was downloading my film Our Street from Arte, the master version. Unfortunately, there's a technical problem, so this didn't work out. And now I have another big problem is how one of the squatters has a friend who comes to my house and threatens me and wants to beat me up. You know, I can't even call in case of danger, I can't call the police because Leica Mobile is, I mean, I have Leica Mobile, so this is product placement. And Leica Mobile doesn't always allow you to call numbers. You have to register again and again. It sort of. So I don't have money for food. I don't have money for telephone and internet. So I'm here in this production office, which is very nice, recording this message on a very bad camera. I don't know what's going on here. It's a computer from a friend. I borrowed from a friend, and of course, you know, I can't even work. You know, I can't even make my films, which is really the most important thing for me. Is not only to tell my story because there are millions of stories. Samuel Fuller said there's only a handful of stories, so I don't agree with that. And I think there are millions of stories. Everybody has different stories, but my films are mostly made for others, in support of others, for fantastic people like these directors I told you about, the memory of these directors, the memory of my father, Stanisław Latało, the memory of Andrzej Wajda, of Krzysztof Kieślowski, of the director, documentary director Marcel Łoziński, who passed away last year, of the wonderful photographers like David Seymour, called Shim, David Shimin, born David Shimin, who had an incredible life, who was the first, he went together with, the story is so long that I prefer that you see it on my webpage, the chapter called Shim and the chapter called Masterclass. And there you can follow up and we can continue this conversation, this adventure in the land of cinema and hopefully also in the land of the free, of democracy, and the country of love, the faraway country where people loved each other, the memories of how France was before, in another time, in another life. Thank you very much. So please help me if you can, because I'm really, really in a bad spot. The worst is the anguish, the depression and the anxiety attacks that I'm having most of the time, which stop me from going out and doing my job, doing my work, working my ass off, really. That's what I'm doing. For this masterclass, which I also hope we will have Steven Spielberg and his director of photography, Janusz Kamiński, and hopefully many others. You can see all this on my webpage. I wanted this to be 10 minutes long because it's an homage to Kieślowski, to the Decalogue, but it's a bit longer. So, so I'd like you also to tell you about this project, musical project that I have about songs, a big organizing War Aid. So we had Live Aid, Band Aid, which was organized by Bob Geldof, Live Aid, which they organized later, and now I wanted to make a concert, War Aid, around the whole world, around the whole planet, through the internet, for peace not only in the neighboring countries of Poland, Ukraine, of course, but peace. Who saves one soul saves the world entire, it is said in the Talmud, which is then quoted in Schindler's List. But here we want to save not only Ukrainians. I'm talking about that because, of course, I was in Poland, living in Poland before, and I saw many Ukrainian refugees. But if war doesn't stop all around the planet, we have artificial intelligence, we have incredible machines, we have so much money. Nobody imagined it would ever be so rich than now. The planet would be so rich, but still we have wars. We have so many people dying every day. About 100 armed conflicts still ongoing around the world, counting gun violence in the US. And about 100 people die every day. Among them, around 40. I mean, these are informations I found on the internet through Gemini, which I mostly use artificial intelligence, but about 40 children dying every day. So my idea is, let's do something about that. You can see what I propose on my webpage. There's a whole series of masterclasses which you can join, that you can participate, that you can support. You can support me with this, and we'll be doing these masterclasses once a month, continuing masterclasses, to one film at a time, to help the world in a small way, advancing. Maybe just a truce, just stop shooting for one day, stop shooting in Ukraine, stop shooting in Gaza, stop shooting in Yemen, around the world, all around the world. Music is a good idea because it goes all around the world, and I really believe that. But I really believe also, I really hope that you'll be able to help me. Thank you very much. So now it's 15 minutes. I will follow this up very soon with an update of how my situation goes. Love from Paris to you all. Thank you for your support, and goodbye. And if you don't want to support me, can't support me, well, you can like and share. That would be nice. And subscribe. Thank you. Au revoir. Merci. Au revoir, au revoir, au revoir. Maybe I should also say a little word very quickly about my activity so I'm a director, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, translator, and I organize these masterclasses, and I'm also a Google guide with 39 million views. So if you need some services, photos, videos, publicity that I make with artificial intelligence, you can also consult my webpage, latalo.com, www.latao.com. Link in bio. Click the link in bio. So that's all, folks. Yeah, I have a lot of other stories that I want to tell you, but now I've overrun the time. So please bear with me. Excuse me for my looks, and pardon my pardon my distress, my difficult situation now. But like I said, I really need your help. So if you can help me, please do. Check out my webpage. See if you like something. Give me a call or write to me. And I hope that we will see each other very soon. See each other very, very soon for some new updates, for some new short stories of love, short stories of murder. The Decalogue is also a crime series, a series of very dark stories that we have to tell about the contemporary world, how it looks. And also a story of cinema, a story of my love to the films, to the different film directors and different actors, and also the people behind the camera. Like I quoted different directors of photography before. The list is long, but also sound people, sound engineers, among them the great Stefan Kudelski, who invented the Nagra. So that's the recording device that allowed direct sound to be on the set, which was also very important for actors, for acting performance, but also very important for documentary, of course, because at that time these were very small machines, like a big typewriter, but they allowed to record very good sound in any circumstances. And there was a Polish invention, a Pole who went to Switzerland. Of course, we have also makeup artists. A chapter will be dedicated to costumes. Waldemar Pokromski, a makeup artist who worked with Steven Spielberg on Schindler's List. Eva Braun and Anna Shepard, who received the Oscar for that same film, who made the costumes. Alan Starsky, who was also made the sets, which you now all make with we will all make them with artificial intelligence. So AI will also be a big revolution. We will talk about Zbigniew Rybczyński, who received the Oscar for his film Tango, which was made well before artificial intelligence made all these things possible. And of course, we have the editors, which are very important. Eva Smal, which was a very important Polish, still active, I think, Eva. and the distributors, the film distributors. Now everything has changed completely. The distribution channels have changed completely, and artificial intelligence is going to change all that. It's going to send a lot of people, make a lot of people jobless, and we really have to also to defend the cinema we love, the cinema of the past. So thank you very much. You know my site. You can hit the like button and you can support me. And I hope that I'm sure that with a little help from my friends, we can make some good films together. Thank you very much. And goodbye. Good night. And good, that's from a film, good night and goodbye. But that's another story. Thank you. Goodbye. Au revoir. Au revoir. Au revoir.